Happy New Year to everyone. Happy New Year. New Year, same shit as as last season. Well, probably
Last year.
yeah. But yeah, welcome to technically now we have to call this the year after the year of the bird. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously, welcome back. It's the first show of 2026, and obviously, like and subscribe to my channel and Charlie's as well.
And my channel. Yes.
And obviously, there have been some news. Actually, they're kind of Tottenham related as well in terms of sackings. We have Maresca got sacked on New Year's. Scamarim was sacked yesterday, and now
Ryan Mason. I told everyone that Ryan Mason would do nothing. He was a Levy spy. That's all he was. Like he was at our club for way too long. And honestly, I'm not even that surprised that West Brom have kind of had enough of him.
Yeah,
like this guy was like Levy's, his spy basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and
he was there under apart from Frank, he was there under every manager. Like so.
We'll see. But yeah, Charlie, how are you?
I'm good. Apart from my football club, I'm all right. Obviously, yeah, year of the bird. Hopefully this is another year of birds.
At least
Even if it's not Spurs or Newcastle, hopefully it's Palermo getting promoted. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm good. Obviously, Spurs and Newcastle, very different couple of games for both of us. Which I'm sure we'll get into. But yeah, subscribe to both our channels, guys. It's being broadcasted on both. Please get all your thoughts in the chat and like the stream as well. So yeah, should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a long show. Obviously, you have to review both games because the last time we were on this show, obviously we have since then played 2 games each, and then obviously there's a couple or so games ahead, +1 for me because obviously I'm still in with a chance of winning a quadruple. One of only 4 clubs that can actually technically do it. But yeah, I guess we might as well get started. We'll start with, I guess we'll go with the winners, that being Newcastle. So the games we played and the results. So we played Burnley the day before New Year's Eve, and then we got a 2-0 win.
3-1.
Oh yeah, 3-1 this one, and then the one.
Yeah, the other one
4 days ago on the 4th of January. It was a Newcastle 2-0 win against Crystal Palace. But we'll first talk about Burnley. So back-to-back wins for us, which is a first time since, I believe, Man City, Everton, in terms of just Premier League. But yeah, I mean, obviously I watched this game. This was actually just before this was after we did the show last time.
Yeah.
And first 10 minutes, it was like Bonnie Blue sort of settings, you could say. Because like we were basically destroying Burnley for 10 minutes. And obviously we scored 2 goals. Joe Linton scoring in the first minute or 2, which was good. And then obviously Johan Wissa, obviously I believe has now leveled himself with Alexander Isak in terms of Premier League goals this season. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. And it was also his first Premier League start, which is, I guess, really good to see because he awarded that with it. So yeah, it was an overall good 10 minutes. And then, as usual, up until we talk about Palace, we concede in the Premier League once again. It was a really good goal by Burnley. I literally forgot who scored for them, but
Laurent, this guy. I've never even heard of him.
Now you do. But yeah, obviously good build-up play by them. Maybe a hint of offside on Mandra Boya, potentially, but no. And then second half, Burnley were actually doing the opposite. the first 10, 20, even 30 minutes, just keep on peppering us throughout the game. For the second half, we had to weather the storm, and ultimately, in the end, we scored basically at the last minute of the game to finish off Burnley. So at least we've done a double so far this season. We completed the double over Burnley.
Well, they were the first team you've played twice. So
yeah, and at least, I mean, you played Brentford. I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't do the double over Brentford, but we did do the double over Burnley. Bruno Guimaraes with the goal, and that was his 6th goal. Because he did score one more.
Yeah. See, with Bruno, he's actually scoring, despite obviously Newcastle kind of dropping off this season, he's kind of adding a lot more goals to his game this year.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably his best scoring season.
Which he's always been capable of. He's always obviously been a player that can, do this, but he just hasn't really done it enough. But I guess this year he's adding all those goals to his game.
Maybe that's why he, in the past, would have 27, 28 celebrations for one goal. That's why.
Yeah, he keeps trying.
See how many he'll have by the end of the year. But yeah, obviously a very good first half. Well, first half of the first half performance, and then a very good way to finish it. I would probably say, well, actually, I just realized this is our second away win of the season. So
only your second, yeah, exactly.
Well, in terms of just the Premier
in the league, yeah. I mean, what I would say is, I know, look, it says you created, obviously, you had 20 shots. I mean, look, you probably did deserve to win the game. Like Burnley, I think you created chances. You should have, probably killed the game off earlier. But if I'm being honest, in terms of from what I saw anyway, in terms of your overall performance, apart from those first 10 minutes, I thought you guys were absolutely kind of shit in that first, especially in that second half. I thought for a lot of it, you guys were absolutely terrible. If I'm being honest, like you guys did not look comfortable whatsoever. You rode your luck at times, if I'm being honest, and you just couldn't really kill the game off until obviously Bruno stepped up in the last minute, which did kind of put it beyond doubt. So look, overall, you probably the quality. Obviously, there's a lot more quality at Newcastle than there is at Burnley, which is I think what mostly won you the game, as well as obviously you guys came out really well in those first 10 minutes. But if I'm being honest, it just wasn't good. It was kind of one of those games where you're like, you got the win, you had more quality than the opposition, but on another day against probably a better team, I don't, based on what I saw, I don't think you win that game, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And it was kind of another away performance that was questionable, despite getting the result this time, which is obviously an improvement, but the opposition was poor.
Yeah. I mean, even though we won 3-1, it could have ended 2-2.
Yeah, easily. On another day, it could have.
Yeah, and thankfully, it wasn't New Year's Eve. It was the day before New Year's Eve. If it was New Year's Eve, I bet we don't win. But I feel like overall, I feel like now what I care about now is the results now. That's why I feel like...
Yeah, look, it's obviously you had to get that. I told you you'd beat Burnley. You said you'd draw. I said you'd win this game. Yeah, I said you'd win. So there you go.
We won both games. So
yeah, I said you'd win both games.
Yeah,
so
hopefully,
there you go.
Hopefully, I mean, now we're on a win streak of 2 since losing to Manchester United, who have since then sacked Scammerim, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends. But yeah, I probably would say not the best performance after 10 minutes.
Although, like I said, you still created enough. You still created enough to probably win, but at the same time, you could have easily conceded at the other end. So, yeah, obviously a good win for you guys. Obviously, you had to get that result. I mean, any win away from home for you guys is huge because you just haven't been doing it away from home this season. So that's an improvement. But yeah, obviously not a great performance or anything.
Yeah, and overall, we actually don't have an away game in the Premier League until Wolves, but that's literally it for the month of January. until we play at Anfield. But that's by the end of the month, so we'll see when the time comes. But our 5 of the next 6 or something like that is at home. Literally, our entire the 3 games we'll preview for Newcastle are all at home,
Yeah.
starting tomorrow. But to get to win an away game just before to finish off 2025 is quite hilarious considering how bad our away form was.
You kind of ended a bad year away with a win,
Away win.
thankfully.
Yeah. And as for the second game, which was a couple of days ago, we beat Crystal Palace. So ever since the takeover, about 4.5 or 4 so years ago, Crystal Palace have come to St. James's Park about 5 times in all competitions and have scored against us in a grand total of 0.
Damn, 0.
And no coincidence that this is our first clean sheet in the Premier League since the day after my birthday against, believe it or not, Big Ange.
Yeah, and that was at home as well. This is the thing with Newcastle. Like, despite your problems this season, you're still a good team at home. Like, you still often get good results at home this season.
Yeah, and obviously, we did talk about Crystal Palace because obviously Spurs played them recently. I would say the first half, we actually had 2 disallowed goals.
Yeah.
Wissa was offside, maybe marginally, but Anthony Gordon at that time scored from open play. He scored from open play.
It's not something he's been doing apart from the Champions League this season.
Yeah, but obviously it was disallowed, so no surprise. Obviously, I was also on Strasbourg Steve's watch along for the game, and he was a little bit more upset than I was because I was like, you know what? I know Crystal Palace are kind of hyped up. And
they have so many injuries right now.
Yeah.
Plus, they've just signed Brennan Johnson. So.
Oh yeah, and might as well talk about Brenda, Stinker and Hooked. Yellow card.
Yeah, apparently I didn't see a lot of him, but it sounds like he had like a stinker.
Yeah, he got yellow. The only maybe threatening moment might be he had a shot, which Pope saved. But ultimately,
it's a shame he didn't. There was no Brenda Dunkey on Newcastle. I wanted to be there.
When do you play? When is it? Spurs.
March, I think. March.
Okay. I'll please.
No.
Imagine it ends 2-1. Brenda scores twice. Richarlison scores the.
Oh my god. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
We'll talk about when the time comes because it'll probably more or less similar around the time when Newcastle were at Wembley that time. But yeah, obviously Joe Linton had a goal which was also offside. Both very good finishes, the offside goals. But obviously
another goal for Bruno. I mean, we were just speaking about him in the Burnley game. That's yet another goal for him against Palace this time.
And we don't talk about Bruno. I meant that as a what's that movie? Encanto? I think that's the movie.
Oh right, yeah.
I think I might be wrong.
Trying to reference something.
Yeah. But but yeah, Bruno, we're talking about him. Scored I don't even remember what was the goal like, but I think it was a header. But I think obviously by the end, he scored, and then I forgot who scored the other one.
Malik Chow.
Oh yeah, from like a cross or a corner or something like that.
Yeah.
And Malik Chow was actually very good. I would say contender for man of the match for this game. Oh, going back on Burnley, man of the match, I would say Bruno.
They gave him on FOTMOB and they gave him a 9 best player.
Oh, yeah, I mean he closed down Hakuna Matata. He said, "No worries, everyone. I'll hold them off," because it was a 1-on-1 Mateta had.
Yeah, Mateta should have scored, but then Chow did really well, and I think despite obviously your inconsistency this season, he's been probably your best signing this from the summer, I would say.
Yeah, I mean you could also say Voltemada, but Voltemada didn't even play until later on in both games. Yeah, in
Yeah,
both games.
him and Voltemade have definitely been the best.
Yeah, so maybe we should sign more Germans. Uh,
Hmm.
get me. I know some Bayern fans are iffy on him. I'd get Kimmich if possible. And Tony Kroos likes Newcastle. Unfortunately, I think he's already retired. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think this game against Palace, was it comfortable? No, but again, it's similar to Burnley.
It kind of reminded me of the Burnley game. I didn't think you. I mean, you guys maybe were a bit better, but I didn't think you were like. I don't think you were like wow or anything. It was kind of like, I mean, you weren't as bad as we were against Palace, despite us still winning that game. But you did enough. It's kind of one of those. You just did enough. I think you just did enough to get over the line in this game. I think Palace weren't great. Obviously, they're like shattered right now because they can't cope with 2 games a week and everything. So I think you guys weren't like amazing, but you did enough to win this game. And obviously, Bruno has hit goal scoring form right now.
Yeah, and obviously, we'll talk about the next few games. I think he'll be very important, obviously, for us, not just for creating chances, but obviously scoring. But yeah, I think overall, this game against Palace, a win's a win. And I
It's
said,
back-to-back wins. Look, that's something we've only done once, which was the first 2 games of the season. Like, so it's good. You guys needed to get. I said you guys needed to get 6 points, and you did. So
yeah, and obviously, because of 2 wins that we did get, unlike we are actually just like how it is in this show. My team is above his team.
yeah,
In the Premier League
top half. You can't even see my team in the top 10, but you guys are finally you're in the top half after most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being in 9th place isn't where I want us to be. I definitely don't want us to be below one team there. But to be fair, at least Arsenal are at the top. So
No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. The league's being rigged. They're trying to. The refs and the PGMOL are trying to get them to win it. That's all I'll say.
But yeah, I think overall, being in 9th, obviously back-to-back wins after that loss to Scammerham's final win for Manchester United on Boxing Day. So it's good that we finally got the result in the end and get ourselves in 9th. And we're actually 2 points off now. 2 points off top 5 because I do think.
But this just shows you how tight the table is. If you get even 2 wins, takes you guys from 14th to 9th.
Yeah, at this time last week we were on 23 points.
This is what I'm saying. So if your team not even gone like a mad run of games, but if you win just I don't know 3 games in a row, you'll go up the table because it's so congested right now. And this is why I get so frustrated with Spurs, because we're not going to win that. We're not going to do that. We haven't won back-to-back games since the first 2 games.
When was the last time you did 5 in a row?
God, you have to go back probably 2017 or something.
Oh, really? Damn.
Something like that.
Newcastle would be last season when we had
5 league games or all competitions? Because last season,
he's doing all competitions, right?
All comps. Well, last season we did have 5 wins in a row at the start of the season. It was Europa League and the League and Carabao Cup.
So that one. So, but yeah, overall, for us to be in 9th is not where I want us to be, but it's better than it was 1 week ago, I would say. So it's all about just getting the.
Not good. It's not good, but you've kind of, you're climbing the table, and you're like you said, you're not far away. You're 9th, but you're only 2 points from 5th.
And obviously Chelsea just earlier today appointed. I feel bad for Strasbourg, Steve, and for Strasbourg. Yeah. Liam Rose Senior. Let's see how long he lasts, because I saw the last time they had a manager last 2 years is Antonio Conte.
Yeah.
Last time they had Chelsea.
Yep.
Former Spurs manager.
This is the thing, with like I said, if either of our clubs, despite being awful this season in so many ways, if either of us put together a winning run, just a decent run of form, we'll go up the table. Because this league is crap. I've said this so often. This league is absolute crap, and people don't talk about it enough. And because this, yeah, I mean we're definitely mediocre right now, but like because this league is crap, you've got teams like Manchester United in sixth who are awful, who have obviously just sacked Amarim. That just shows you how bad the league is. Like, so if any team can be consistent, they'll climb the they'll go right up the table.
That's why I feel like it's too premature for SUNDERLAND to feel so. And obviously, Charlie will talk about them when we talk about Spurs' second game a couple of days ago. But I think for Newcastle, it's about getting the results because this January we have like what 5, 6, 7. I think 7 home games in all competitions in the month of January. Obviously, the 3 that's coming up. We play PSV at home, Aston Villa at home. So, yeah, that's 5 home games plus the Palace one. So that's 6 home games in January. So, and you want your home form to at least be good. So we have to do well, I would say.
So what does this mean? I mean, you're a United fan. I mean, you're.
Oh, he's Man United?
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, you think you guys are coming back anytime soon? No way. No way. Form a shadow of yourselves under Fergie.
No
way.
I hope. I know Scamarin did get his final win for Man United against us, but Southgate or Ole?
Yes, Ole. Ole. But I'll tell you something. Big up to Ruben Scamarin for the Europa League final. We'll always remember you.
But yeah, overall, for us, it was about making sure that, picking. I think now for like maybe for this month, January, I'd say it's about getting results instead of performances. So
I mean, yeah, you haven't been getting results consistently enough this season.
like we've had good performances, but we don't pick up the results. Like, for example, I thought maybe Leverkusen away, we were decent, but then obviously, typical Newcastle concede late. I thought
that's kind of the story of your season.
And against when we played you guys 2-2, I thought the performance was.
Yeah, we should have. I'll be honest. I know you guys had a terrible ref call go in your favor with the penalty and everything, but you guys should have won on the balance of play. Like we didn't. We deserved to lose on the balance of play in that game.
That's why I'm like.
Even Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool's second game of the season, you should have won. I think Arsenal at home, you should have at least drawn that game as well. So if they didn't cheat their way to a win, so
yeah. So I think it's more about getting the what do you call this? Yeah, obviously a lot of football to play, but considering that literally almost every team is in and around the same position. Yeah, everyone's trash.
This league's awful. I keep saying this. It's awful. Like
the fact that SUNDERLAND is they only lost 4 games in the Prem, but they have the most draws. But yeah, I feel like it's just about getting the results. And obviously, I feel like if we're in a relatively decent position in terms of the point tally, because I would say I always trust Newcastle when it's April and May, because we always somehow.
You often end the season well. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Even with I know you don't want Eddie Howe at the club and stuff, but he does end the season well usually.
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, if we're I would say if we can hit 42, 43 points by the time we get into the March international break, then I can be optimistic how the league will be like. If we can be around 43, 44 points, let's say 43, which is what? That would be, how many points is that now? Would be 29, 43. Like, let's say if we basically win 5 games, more or less.
Then down to March. I mean, honestly, it's a big if, because I think, and I'll say the same with Spurs, like both are just like, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, it's just very inconsistent. But I think, to be honest, with Newcastle, you guys at least have reliable home form in the sense that you're going to win. Like, you guys still win the majority of games at home. Yeah. For us, we can't win at home. And I know we have technically the best away record, all of this. But let's be honest, that I think it's a myth. because we have been absolute shit in so many of those games, including like Nottingham Forest recently and Brentford, which we will talk about. So,
Yeah. Well, we might as well talk about that.
Yeah.
What is it? 27 minutes. So Tottenham ended the year on a high and started the year same old shit.
Absolutely shit. I mean, before I say anything, just look at this midfield: Palhinha, Bentancur, and Gray. 3 sixes, 3 holding midfielders away at Brentford.
To be honest, I didn't even bother watching the highlights, so I have no idea what happened.
Nothing happened. Literally nothing. Nothing. Literally, I'll be able to, in terms of the actual game and the events, I can skip through this very quickly because nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. Big up to Angus as well. Listen, we'll see. Like I said, talk to me at the end of the season, and we'll see. Come the end of the season, but like I was saying, this was absolutely tragic. I knew as soon as I saw the lineup, I was like, yeah, we're done. We're absolutely done because he picked that midfield. Palhinha, Bentancur, and Gray. I know we didn't have Xavi available. I know that Bergvall was injured for this game, but that means you adapt. You know, you don't just put square pegs in round holes. You make a formation, whether that's 3 at the back, you push the wing backs forward and try and counteract the problems that you have in availability in midfield. But no, he doesn't do that. He sticks with the same shit over and over and over again, no matter what. And it failed. We should have lost this game. I mean, look, Brentford, were they that good? No. I mean, you look at it here. I mean, they only had 2 shots on target themselves. I mean, it's standard for us to create absolutely nothing. Here's the issue. We were time wasting in the 60th minute. Vicario was booked for time wasting. This manager is happy to draw 0-0 in this game.
Against his former team.
Yeah, against his set piece coach. He was happy to try and get his objective. The way I looked at his game plan and the way he set us up
was not to lose.
His idea was to get a 0-0. That's what his idea and intention was for this game. He went into it saying, I'm going to try and draw 0-0. I have no interest in winning this game. I have no interest in trying to actually go forward. And that's what happened. But is it only his fault? No. Players aren't good enough. It's as simple as that. You know, you look at this. I thought out of the front 3, I thought, honestly, Odobert was probably the best out of the 3. Matisse to Chelsea. That's kind of
I haven't seen, but I know he posted a video.
Yes, I mean, he looks like him, Rossinia. But anyway, the players aren't good enough. Everybody knows that a lot of them are not good enough. I mean, what sums it up is at the end of the game, we have a rare counter-attack, a very rare counter-attack in the last minute of stoppage time. Richarlison goes through down the right. He puts the cross into absolutely nowhere when I think it was Tell who came on, actually made a decent run into the box. And Richarlison just completely messes up the cross, just makes a complete mess of it. And that sums up the technical ability of some of these players. I mean, like I said, nothing happened in this game. 0-0 was the correct result, if I'm being honest. But to watch such a horrendous game, it is the norm this season. It's the norm. And it wasn't a surprise. I don't know if you've seen the videos going around on social media that after this Brentford game, you had the away fans booing Frank. You had away fans singing boring, boring Tottenham. This wasn't even the home fans singing it. This was our own supporters that were singing this stuff. You know, it's just so boring. It's just tragic that the football that we're watching, every player, even players that we think are decent, are getting absolutely killed by this system, by the way we're being set up. And there's no balance. We're completely just poorly assembled is the way you'd want to look at it. There's no glue between the midfield, the defense, the attack. And it was an absolutely tragic game of football. And this manager was okay with it because he set us up in a way that made us draw 0-0. But at the same time, you know, a lot of these players aren't good enough. And that's the truth. And why I know it's only the 6th of January, but why are we not getting players in now? You know, there's nothing stopping you getting deals done in December, ready for the 1st of January. You know, I'm not saying West Ham I'm not saying the players they've signed are players that we should be signing, but the fact of the matter is a club like that can get 2 players in. I know Castellanos. Look, I don't think he's that good. For those that know,
Steve would know.
yeah, this is really funny. Rossi, Matisse. But my point is that you're seeing whoever it is. I don't need to pinpoint any specific club, but like you're seeing it, and we're not doing it. And this was tragic. This was absolutely tragic, and it shouldn't be a surprise to see our away fans booing this manager because, to be honest, it's not undeserved right now. Yeah, but Angus, you're saying no one wants to join Tottenham. Money talks. If you put the money on the table, I'm not saying we're going to get the best of the best players, but if you put enough money on the table, you can attract. I'm not saying every player, but you can attract a certain caliber of player if you put the money on the table. Look, whatever you think of it. Money talks. That's the way football works. That's the modern way of life. Money talks. Put the money on the table, and more doors open to possibilities. In terms of this was absolute. I mean, Ten, do you have anything to say on this before we move on to the?
No,
because this was disgusting.
I said, I didn't even bother trying to search.
I mean, look at like I said, I know we had injuries and suspensions, but look at his midfield selection.
Yeah,
that sums it up. Time wasting in the 60th minute. That's clearly an instruction.
Yeah, the fact that he can't beat his set piece coach. Maybe Thomas Frank is like, you know what? I want some happiness. I'm back at Brentford for a little bit. So yeah, but
he was happy to draw 0-0. He was, because that's his mentality. His mentality is mid-table mediocrity. That's his mentality.
That he doesn't beat Brentford at Brentford. So
I mean, he just beat them the other week, and that was actually one of our better performances. Like that Brentford game at home, plus Man City away second. Those are our only two performances that weren't absolutely terrible this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, he sets us up in a completely different way in the away game compared to the home game. Because in the home game, like I said, in the first half, I actually thought we played well. But this time, no.
Didn't even bother trying.
So yeah, any other thoughts on this before I move on to the next game?
And then move on because
this was tragic, an absolutely terrible game.
They even bother watching the highlights of
it. I fell asleep. I'm joking. I didn't actually fall asleep, but I was close. I mean, I was barely paying attention. I was just on my phone for most of it, to be honest. But in terms of our next game, it doesn't get better because not only for me, but for 10.
And it actually works very well for his team. Wait. It works really well for his team.
Sunderland.
Yeah. Man City and you guys. So
although they did take points off Arsenal earlier in the season, but they're taking draw. I mean, they're kind of draw merchants, aren't they? Sunderland.
Most draws in the Premier League now.
Yeah, like 9 draws. 9 draws. I mean, 4 draws in a row. But anyway, Spurs took on Sunderland at home after the Brentford game, our first home game of 2026. Another draw. Back-to-back draws. This was, I mean, in terms of the lineup, obviously the most notable one is Ben Davies. Obviously in for his only start of the season so far. I mean, and he got a goal. He got a goal. It was, but again, when I talk about this first half, in terms of the selection, it was a little bit more positive. Obviously, you have, an extra attacker in Tell coming in from the start. Kudus going off injured was a problem. We got to hope that there's still no proper update on it. We got to hope that that's not serious. Because if he's out, plus the fact that we've sold, I know Johnson's not great, but the fact that we've sold him and Kudus has got injured means we have to fucking get players in now, and we have to act now in the transfer window. Plus, like I said, Kudus is our best attacker, and he's going to be out against Bournemouth most likely. And he went off early in this game for Kolo Muani. And like I said, yeah, at least he changed it. I mean, the midfield, it was weird because I thought you'd see Kudus in the 10. Instead, he puts Odebert there. Again, Benson Core plays no matter what, no matter how. I mean, to be fair, he was probably decent in that first half, but no matter how good or how bad he plays, he's the first name on the team sheet, which I think is wrong because I think he's been more bad than good this season. Like I said, he rested Spence, put Davis in, obviously with a doggy still out. And Davis was probably our best player on the day. That's the worst thing. Like the fact that somebody like Ben Davis, who's like, really old, who's been here for like ages and never really plays anymore. The fact that somebody like that can be our best player says it all. Obviously, he got the goal. It was a really scrappy goal. I mean, by the way, that defending from the corner was awful from Sunderland. That was awful defending. The fact that Romero gets a free sort of like go at it at the back post. No, I don't trust them. I don't trust them. They have to prove to me that things have changed. I'm not saying I believe in them. They have to just prove to me. But we got the goal. I mean, at halftime, the way I see it, halftime, did we deserve to be 1-0 up? Yes, I think that we were the better team in the first half. It was an improvement in performance. But like I said, it's not hard to improve on the absolute shit that we've been served up week in, week out this season. Because I'm seeing fans online saying, oh, we played so well in the first half. Oh, you know, we were so good. We should have killed the game off, all of this, blah, blah, blah. But I don't see it that way. Was it better? Yes. But it only looks so good to them because we've been absolutely tragic in every game. That's it. So it looks better than what it was. Because I still, if you think about it, right, like I said, we probably did deserve to get a goal, but we scored from a corner again. We've now gone 5 games without a goal from open play. We scored another scrappy goal from a corner like we did against Palace. We still didn't create anywhere near enough chances. The only positive thing I felt that was coming through our attack was Tell. Because Tell was actually trying to shoot. He was actually going against what this manager wants to do and trying to walk it in. He was actually trying to shoot from sort of the edge of the box and trying to make something happen. Look, the quality wasn't there. So I don't think Tell, you know, he either doesn't have it yet or he's you know, he's not that great, which I've obviously kind of felt a lot. But he was trying, and I respect it because he was the only one that was trying to do something against the grain, against what we've been sort of trying. And he was probably the only one, you know, in that first half, even despite, you know, us having more control of the game, you know, being, you know, a little bit better in possession and stuff. Even then, you know, we still didn't create anywhere near enough. And their keeper didn't, I mean, their keeper had, what, one save to make at the start from funnily enough, I think it was Odebert or Tell, one of them in like the first minute. But still nowhere near good enough. Was it an improvement? Yes, but it was an improvement from all the way down here to still down here, if that makes sense. Like it's nowhere near good enough. And Sunderland, coming into this, had only scored 3 goals away from home in 3 or 4 goals. They weren't big. They weren't like high goal scorers away from home. And I'll be honest. I mean, I look at the front three. Brian Brobby, Mayenda, and Adingra. Like, you know, it's not the greatest front three. So I wasn't surprised. And like I keep saying, our defense is better than our attack and midfield. So it wasn't a surprise that, you know, that they weren't really that dangerous going forward in the first half. But you're thinking for the second half, you know, can we actually do something? Can we actually kill this game off and you know, get a win at home? Yeah, Semenyo is going to play his last game against us. I thought he'd be gone, if I'm being honest. But second half, it was look, people saying the first half was better. The second half was absolutely horrendous. Absolutely disgusting. This manager sat back, trying to eke out a 1-0 at home to newly promoted Sunderland. And they obviously scored. And when they scored, it was coming. You know, it was coming because we were inviting pressure. We were just camped out in our own half, you know, afraid, playing the most cowardly football I've ever seen, you know, at home against a newly promoted team where we should be, you know, and until we get the second goal, we shouldn't be playing that way. You know, if it's 2-0, I understand it more. Because at 2-0, you know, I don't think they come back into it, if I'm being really honest. So if we had got that second goal, you know, start the second half on the front foot, get the second goal, and then sit back, that's fine. I have no issue with that. Most teams do that. When they kill the game off, they sit back. But we hadn't killed the game off, and we weren't even trying to kill the game off. Because whenever we got the ball, we would just lump it forward, nobody there. The odd time where we did get a counter-attack, this is where the quality of player was seen. Because whenever we actually did get into a decent position in the second half, we would mess it up. We'd absolutely shit the bed in the final third. And it's not a surprise when you look at the attacking options that we have and what we have coming off the bench. You know, Kolo Muani, as if we're being honest, has done absolutely nothing apart from that game against PSG where he got 2 goals. So if I'm being honest, the draw was a fair result. I mean, like I said, their goal was a good move. Unfortunately, it was Brobby of all people. Absolutely terrible player that we allowed to score. And do you know what's really bad about all of this is that this is a makeshift Sunderland team. You know, they have about seven players. Yeah, it was a good finish. Fair play.
Yeah,
It was
well against Arsenal, which I also did.
He did it. Oh yeah, I forgot he did. I completely forgot about that. But they have about 7 players at AFCON. I mean, you look at this. Like, I know they've got Xhaka in there. They've got you know, Alderete, Mukiele, Roofs, kind of there. Started Gertruida as well. But you know, look at who they're bringing off the bench. You're bringing off Romain Mundle, who is a Spurs reject, who's in our academy. Same with Sirkin, their left back. You know, he was for our academy as well. And you got, you know, Dan Ballard and Chris Brigg. You know, these are players that were in the championship with them last year. So this was definitely a makeshift Sunderland, especially with they had nothing on the bench to kind of change this game. And we looked absolutely, like I said, the second half was absolutely horrendous. And it was just more of the same shit being served up yet again. And it's another game at home we failed to win. It's another terrible result that we've got. And the manager seems to be, you know, I'm not saying he's happy and delighted, but he doesn't seem to be, and this is just vibes, you know, I could be completely wrong. But the vibes, and it's not just this game, but the vibes I've got from Frank all season is that he's okay with results like this. I'm not saying he's happy necessarily, but he's okay with results like this. He's not disgruntled enough with results like this. And for me, that shows the level he is as a manager, not just tactically. I mean, tactically, we are doing absolutely nothing. There is no plan. I mean, the way I see it, it's very simple, right? With Ange, there was no plan to defend. With Frank, there is no plan to attack at all. And even then, even though there's more of a plan to defend, we still can't defend. We still can't defend in most games. The only improvement I've seen is that we're not conceding from set pieces, which, to be fair, look, that is an improvement. You know, we've conceded the least goals from set pieces this season in the league. So that is an improvement. And that's clearly, you know, something they you know, put a lot of focus into it and everything. But for me, there is no intention to play possession football. There is no intention to actually control a game. And it's just to try and... Our only game plan is this. Sit back and pray. Sit back and pray that we don't concede and that Kudus kind of, you know, does a moment of individual brilliance. That is the entire game plan that's been served up in every game all season. And this one was no different. Despite a slightly better second half, where we weren't at... like I said, the only reason it was better was because we weren't absolutely tragic in the first half. That's the only reason it was better. So, more of the same, unfortunately. And, you know, just looking at the stats, you know, more shots on target, all of this. But again, it was nowhere near, you know, enough. And like I said about Sunderland, they're not a goal-scoring team, or they're not a goal-scoring team away from home. I agree. I agree. I think that's true. I don't usually agree with Angus, but I think he's right there. I think we do have a lot of players that aren't good enough, that shouldn't be at this club. But at the same time, I think the manager is absolutely destroying any positives that we do have in the squad, in my opinion. Like the way I see it is this: is our squad good enough to be around here? No. But are we better than 13th? Yes. Because the way I see it is this: do Everton have better players than us? No. Do Fulham have better players? No. Do Brighton have better players? No. Even look at Brentford. Look at his old club. Look at Brentford with Keith Andrews. Look, they're 7th. I know it's very tight again. Like I said at the start of the show, a couple of wins can change the table it can flip the table on its head. Look how congested it is. But we're not going to do that. We are not going to win more than one game in a row. Why? Because we've only done it once, and that was the first 2 games of the season. So it is absolutely tragic, and it is absolutely unacceptable what's going on at this club right now. And it was another terrible result. It's as simple as that. 10, I'm sure you were absolutely delighted with Sunderland getting a point off us, but what's your thoughts on this game?
I wanted, what do you call this? Spurs like 4-0 or whatever.
I told you we wouldn't win this game.
Yeah, I mean, well, who? Because we will play Bournemouth.
I think he's talking about Spurs because we're on Spurs. I'll come to that. We'll come to that in a bit.
We'll come to it soon. But yeah, my thoughts on this game: you should have won. probably handsomely as well.
The game was there for the taking, but we were absolutely if we weren't tragic in the second half, we probably win that game.
Yeah.
Sunderland, I'll be honest, I was not impressed with Sunderland, if I'm being honest.
And then I guess I don't know if you were at the game, but their fans celebrated a draw.
Yeah, they were kind of mad, their fans.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think, yeah, Spurs probably and should have won this game comfortably because I don't honestly think Sunderland are that good. And the fact that they, had Spurs won a couple of days ago against them, we would meaning us, actually both of us would have been above them.
Yeah. But that just shows you how mad the table is. Like I said, this league's shit. This league is absolutely shit this year.
Yeah. So obviously there's still 18 games to go in the Premier League this season. So a lot can change. That means the bottom three could still catch up to Sunderland. So yeah, I'll probably say probably no.
Not with Matisse in charge.
You never know, but I feel like this game, yeah, Spurs should have won easily.
If we actually,
if Ange was in charge, you win.
I actually think we do because I think the way because Sunderland, like I said, Sunderland were not good up front. They did nothing in the first half going forward. And I actually think that was a game for goal scoring. That was a game that needed goal scoring more than defending, funnily enough. But yet this manager chose to sit back. He chose to sit back. Not even just sit back, because I actually don't have a problem with sitting back as long as you actually have a plan when you get the ball. But we don't have a plan when we get the ball. Whenever we got the ball, it was just give it back to them. 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 Yeah. And it's the same every game. We're like 20th for like shots on target in the league this season. We're at the bottom for every stat. And this manager thinks this is normal and okay.
That
I think he's completely. I've said this over and over again on the show. I think he's completely shit the bed. He's completely shit the bed at this club, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
and he needs to go. He needs to go. Whether that's, I don't think he should go immediately now, because I think that'd be. I think sacking him right immediately now, I think would be wrong. Like I've discussed before, because I think that he, look, whatever people say about January, we have a better chance of getting players with a manager in charge than an interim. That's just the truth. And sacking him now would be the wrong timing. Plus, considering, there's not a lot of options available. Although I would take Maresca, I'll tell you that. I would take Maresca.
I'll scammer him.
See, here's the thing with Scammer is that, not that I would take him, but what's really funny is that I actually think our players suit his system. Because we do. We'll talk about that as well. But we actually have the players that suit Amarim's system. That's the funny thing. And big up to Sebastian. Yeah, Frank. Look, he does need to go. Not immediately right now, but he cannot be here in the long term. That's for sure. He cannot be here in the long run. And like I said, what I would do is, I think after January, once the window's closed,
sack him.
Unless he's improved, then it probably is a better time to sack him at that point. So, what? I wouldn't take Xavi, because
one thing is that Man United are now in the market.
They are. But I think they're going to wait till the end of the season, just like we probably will. So we'll have to see on the manager front. But yeah, this was absolutely tragic, and we're still in the bottom half. We've won 2 games in our last 11 and have failed to score from open play in our last 5 games. I mean, what does that tell you?
Spurs are shit.
Absolutely tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Yeah.
7 wins out of 20. That alone, 7 wins out of 20 is nowhere near good enough.
Yeah, we have 8 wins, right? We have 8
yeah,
wins.
8. We have more
wins than Sunderland.
You do. Yeah.
And
we've discussed that even for Newcastle, that's not good enough for you guys.
Yeah.
And 7 wins for us isn't good enough either. And it's worse.
Yeah, and obviously we'll see how things go. But I guess can move on to the games that actually happen very soon. Well, tomorrow for both of us. But we'll start, even though Spurs play the earlier game, but we'll start with not Arsenal, Liverpool, but Newcastle hosting Leeds United. Now, Leeds United are actually in form. They have not lost a game since Manchester City, the 3-2 in the Premier League. So they're unbeaten in 7, I believe, with 1 win and 6 draws or something like that. But they got, obviously they got 2 draws against Liverpool, got a draw against Manchester United in Scammerd's final game in charge, got a draw in a few other games as well. But yeah, I feel like obviously this game against Leeds United is going to be quite interesting because obviously our record against them, obviously, 2 or so years ago, or actually 3 years, what do you call this? Since they've been up in the Prem in that 2020 season and onwards, we've played them 6 times and have beaten them a grand total of once in 6, which coincidentally was our first Premier League win in that season, post takeover. No, second win. The Burnley one was first, but yeah, obviously our record against Leeds in the Premier League these days haven't been that great. And obviously we played them earlier this season. So it's actually 1 win in 7. Was a 0-0 when Sean Longstaff.
Please. We were talking about this yesterday. Please. Southgate to United. Just manifest it. Manifest it. Apparently Jim Ratcliffe he's friends with him. So
yeah.
Otherwise,
bring back Ollie. But yeah, obviously this game against Leeds, coming off the back of yet another draw, but unbeaten, so Leeds have actually, you could say, kind of surprised people somewhat. I mean, didn't lose to Liverpool in both games, Now, obviously, losing to Liverpool, something that both of our clubs managed to do already this season at home, but
well, they're actually Leeds. They're actually 8 points above the relegation zone.
Yeah,
which just surprised a lot of people because obviously Daniel Farker with Norwich had an absolutely tragic record in the Prem. So him being like in this position, I think has surprised a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with leagues, I think obviously the aim is to survive, and right now they're on course. Considering that West Ham thankfully gave Wolves their first win, so because we do play Wolves very soon.
West Ham are going down. They're going down.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe there could be how many managers will be sacked? 2026 is like the year of sacking.
Everyone's getting sacked.
Nuno might actually get sacked if they lose tonight.
Yeah,
West Ham Forest. So that's actually going to be interesting. But yeah, obviously this game against Leeds, it's going to be tough because obviously we haven't beaten them as much as I would have liked. But I would probably say heading into this game, 2 wins in a row, whereas Leeds 2 draws or 3 in a row. So you could say both teams kind of trying their best to pick up form. And obviously, if we were to beat Leeds, it will be the first time we win 3 wins in a row in the Premier League this season. So that's one thing we can aim for. So yeah, it's going to be quite a difficult game. I know our record, 1 win in 7 meetings since they've been up, isn't great. I still have the feeling that, come on, can there be one? Like, we cannot make Leeds the new Bournemouth as well, So for me, I feel like, no, Arteta in. But yeah, I feel like this game.
Oh yeah, just quickly, Angus, thoughts on the Celtic situation because that's pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
The Celtic situation's hilarious with like
another match
and Mikey Moore dunking on Celtic on the weekend, like all of this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this game against Leeds. Actually, earlier today, the press conference was there, and I'm pretty sure Spurs had theirs earlier as well.
Yeah.
The only injury concern is Jacob Murphy, hamstring or fatigue or something like that. So it's most likely going to be Gordon and Bonds at the wing. Who would I start, Wissa or Voltemade? I would still start Wissa, because one, he scored against Burnley. He was pretty good against, well, not very good against Palace, but had he not been offside, he would have had an assist. So I'd play him. I know the crazy thing is, I was on Strasbourg Steve's watch along, and I was a bit surprised because everyone was like, "Oh, why is Voltemade not? Voltemade hasn't started the past 2 games," and I'm like, "Oh, maybe there's a falling out." I'm like, "Hold up, a fallout because Voltemade is not starting back-to-back games."
It's why you have depth. That's the point in a squad. Yeah. You guys have 2 good strikers, Visser and Voltemade. That's the point. That's the point in having a squad.
Yeah, obviously it would be nice if we can play them both together.
Yeah, but it's a good headache. That's what I always say. You need to have depth in areas.
Yeah, it's like, what would you rather have, Visser Voltemade or Richarlison and Tell? I would
Visser Voltemade.
No, or Richarlison, the GOAT.
Nah.
But no, I don't think both of them start.
I mean, Visser can play on the left, to be fair, so it's an option, but I don't think.
Yeah,
Howe will probably do it.
Who knows? Maybe it ends up happening, but I just see Visser as the number 9. But we'll see how things will be like, because obviously with Murphy and Elanga still injured and all, then obviously it would mean that we only have 2 fit wingers, being Gordon and Bonds. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, João Cancelo.
Oh, well, he was going to go to Inter, I thought, but he's gone back to Barcelona.
Yeah, Romano and all that. But yeah, I would probably say that would be, I would say, would it be the same team that played against Palace? I would say, yeah. And also,
well, I don't know if Eddie. Oh yeah, big up to Catalan. Yeah, smash the likes, guys. I don't know if Eddie Howe mentioned it in his press conference, but before, obviously, I know we'll talk about Spurs again in a sec. But like Frank said, he's going to rotate against Bournemouth. I don't know if Eddie Howe said anything, if he's going to keep it or rotate.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the good thing is actually in the Palace game, we had Trippier fit, we had Livramento fit, and Livramento played against Palace. Who's the other one that came back? Botman was fit. So 3 defenders, technically, were back on the bench. And actually, Lewis Miley was actually given man of the match against Palace at right back.
He's doing all right at right back. He's put it in. Obviously, he's a midfielder, but kind of out of position. He's doing all right the last couple of games.
And the good thing is that now, hopefully, Livramento, he did play as a substitute against Palace. So, yeah. And obviously, actually, I forgot to mention this because Newcastle United made a statement about it, and the Premier League retweeted it, or it was about, I know I call him Joe Willock the Pillock, but he got a message on, I guess, Instagram or something, basically racial abuse.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible.
So, yeah. So hopefully those things are settled. So what a great way, maybe to shut up that whoever that is. If Willock plays against Leeds, score a goal, because he did have a really bad miss against Palace, but that was at 2-0.
The game was won, I think, at 2-0 because you scored 2 goals in the in 10 minutes in 70 minutes. So yeah, you probably won the game at that point.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, actually, I know I said this on the watch along yesterday, but this Leeds, this game you got against Leeds, obviously on paper, Leeds, they got like a lot of championship players, but they're actually overperforming, and I think Farke's doing a really good job there right now. And they're obviously on a bit of an unbeaten run, albeit they're kind of draw merchants as well.
At least they've picked up points.
But I do think, I do think you're going to struggle in this game, if I'm being honest. No, 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 no.
But yeah, obviously with this game against Leeds, I'll say I don't. I
They're
would.
gonna. I'm telling you, because I watched Leeds against who is it? I watched them against Liverpool in that 0-0 the other day. I'll tell you what they're gonna do. They're gonna absolutely stink the place out. They play five at the back. They're gonna put everyone back. They're gonna absolutely. They play. See, they play five at the back with three holding midfielders. With Ampadu, Stack, and Sean Longstaff probably.
Oh, Sean Long and that. Well, Sean Longstaff return.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm telling you, they're gonna stink the place out. You're gonna have to break them down. I think, which obviously Newcastle have struggled with this season.
Yeah. So obviously this would be a tough game because of that. Feels like it might be a moment of magic.
Yeah.
Something like that. So in terms of a prediction for this league's game, I will go. Obviously, I'll be optimistic. I'll go 1-0 for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say 1-0 to Newcastle as well. I think that because look, like I said, despite your inconsistency, you're still good at home. You're still very difficult to beat for anybody at St James's Park, and I think that in this game it will be kind of like the Palace game. It will take you quite a while to score or create a real chance, but I think eventually you will. Eventually you'll break through, and I think you'll. I think again, it will kind of be similar to the last two games. You'll just have more quality. You'll have enough to win the game, and I think in the end, you'll probably find a way to break through what is a Leeds team that are going to absolutely stink the place out. But I think you'll have enough. So I'll go 1-0 to Newcastle.
Yeah, and obviously,
and that'll be 3 wins in a row for you guys if that happens.
First time this season if we do. So, yeah. And that would, if certain results go our way, we would be in the top 5.
Yeah, that shows you. I mean, you were 14th the other day. If you win this game, you could easily be in the top 5. It just shows you. Oh, my cat! But it just shows you how quickly things can change. Yeah.
So we'll see how it will be on tomorrow night, and also tomorrow night it is Bournemouth, and technically this is a double Bournemouth preview because they play both of our teams, but first they play Tottenham tomorrow, which is Semenyo's final game as a Bournemouth Bournemouth player. Though I'll be honest, I don't know how much he's actually going to play.
I think he will play because he played in their last 2 games when nobody thought he would. So I think he will.
At least he's being professional. Unlike
sorry guys,
unlike this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, I'm going to have an eye on this game because obviously we play Bournemouth in the cup. But yeah, Bournemouth versus Tottenham.
Oh man, I mean, obviously they've already beaten us this year. Sorry guys, I can't have my camera on at the moment. Just give me one sec, guys. 10 way, keep it going while I sort this out. Keep it going.
Yeah, but I would say, it'll be hilarious if that happened, if Semenyo scores the winner. But yeah, obviously, this game between Bournemouth. Let's see what Isak does in March. If he's even fit by then. But I feel like this game between Bournemouth and Spurs, obviously seeing Spurs draw 2 games in a row. So maybe they could draw 5 in a row. Who knows? But I would say it will be difficult, this game, obviously at the Vitality Stadium. In terms of a prediction, I don't know how to feel. But yeah, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned, Bournemouth have already beaten us once this season. That was the 3rd game of the season where we were. What away on the stream?
Oh god, you bought a Sunderland?
No, he's black and white. It's not. He's not off black. No, he's black and white. black and white. So anyway, there we go. Yeah, like I was saying, Bournemouth have already beaten us once this season. We were absolutely tragic in that game at home. That was kind of the start of the norm, if that makes sense, because that came after back-to-back wins at the start of the season where we beat Burnley 3-0, beat City 2-0. It came off the back of those two. And at the time, everybody, including me, hoped that it was a one-off. But unfortunately, that became the norm. That Bournemouth game was the start. That was the start of this normal, tragic football, basically. Yeah. In terms of this game, look, Bournemouth, I know they're on a bad run. I think they're winless in their last 10 or something. Like they've dropped right down the table after a really good start.
They were second place.
Yeah, they were like second, and now they're like 15th. They've dropped right down the table. They've been on a horrendous run for months now. And I think, to be honest, what it is I think all those players being sold in the summer is catching up with them. And they're about to lose another one in Semenyo. So I think that it's going to be difficult. I mean, I don't think they get relegated. I think Iriola's, is still a good manager, and I think they still have enough to not be in any problems with that. But they are definitely in a bit of trouble right now. But we're not going to beat them. We're not going to beat them because we cannot play against teams, even Bournemouth with the run they're on. We will not have a clue what to do against them. Because Iriola's smart. I know they've been very attacking recently. They've conceded a lot and scored a lot. But Iriola has our number. The last two, in that third game of the season, he completely shat on Frank tactically. Tactically, he completely and utterly destroyed him. And it should have been more than 1-0. Frank will not learn. He will not learn. And because with Kudus being out, our attack is even worse than it's been for most of the season with Kudus being out for this game. So we're going to have he said he's going to rotate, but rotate will probably mean Bentancur keeps his place no matter what. And you're going to probably see...
The only rotation is Kudus.
And Richarlison will still play, probably. So you're probably going to see Richarlison. Kolo Muani will probably play out wide again where he does absolutely nothing. Big up to Marcus as well. And you're probably on the right, you're probably going to see a player out of position, probably Tell or Odegaard on the right, which obviously both are naturally left wingers. The good news is that Xavi Simons is back. So we finally have a number 10. And we got Bergvall, who has returned from injury as well. But Frank isn't actually playing him in his actual position because he thinks he's a number 10 when he's not. He's a number 8. He's completely he said it was absolutely ridiculous what he said after the Sunderland game. He basically said that, I made a like-for-like change with Odegaard and Bergvall. Like, is he taking the piss or something? Like, it's you see what I mean? He said a number 8 is a like-for-like change with a left winger. Like, what is this? And the fact that he hasn't not once, played Bergvall in his actual position this season says it all. And because he's so scared of being too progressive. You know what I mean? Because I'll be honest, right? If we played I'm not saying all these players are amazing or anything, but if we played Bergvall in the 8 and we played Xavi in the 10 with Palhinha in the 6, we're instantly a lot better. The midfield is instantly a lot better. But he hasn't done that combination once. Not once this season. So he's saying he's gonna rotate, but he's not gonna make the right decisions. He's not gonna change the formation. He's still gonna play this 4-3-3 that does absolutely nothing for us. And we're going to fail to win. I think we'll be lucky to get a draw, if I'm being honest. Semenyo, look, it'll be his last game. He'll have a point to prove and all of this. So I'm going to go for a draw. I think if Bournemouth weren't on such a horrendous run, I'd be saying we're definitely going to lose this game. So I'm going to go for 2-2 just because Bournemouth are conceding a lot of goals right now. And I think that we will probably score from a set piece. Again, that seems to be our only way of scoring. No goals from open play in the last 5 games. So I reckon it will be a draw. But don't be surprised if we lose. I think if we lose this, it wouldn't shock me one bit. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at. That's how tragic the situation is. So I think it will be a draw, but it could easily be a loss. And it's going to be another terrible game, unfortunately.
Yeah. In terms of my prediction for this game between Bournemouth and Spurs, obviously I'll be keeping a little eye on it. and probably watch back the highlights because we do play them next after Leeds. So prediction, Dr. Tottenham, 2-1 Bournemouth. I'll go 2-1 Bournemouth. I feel like, but Spurs to score from a set piece, and we do have the better Bruno as well. But yeah, my prediction would be 2-1 Bournemouth. Just because,
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I think we'll lose or draw. That's my prediction. I'm saying we're going to draw, but I think we'll lose or draw. Personally,
yeah, that's what I feel like with this game between Bournemouth and Spurs. And speaking of Bournemouth, we have Newcastle versus Bournemouth in the cup.
Yeah,
FA Cup preview.
Both of us play Bournemouth.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice to what you call it, no need to talk about an extra team or whatever. But yeah, Newcastle United host Bournemouth in the FA Cup at home at St. James's. And obviously, our record against Bournemouth in the Premier League is not great, but our record against Bournemouth in the Cup, because we have played them once since they've been promoted back, in the League Cup in which we made the final. So maybe a good omen, who knows?
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, we are playing at home against them, and it's going to be a tough game against Bournemouth, but I can also see us doing quite well.
You're playing them at the right time. I think we're playing them at the right time as well, but I think they're playing us at the right time.
Yeah.
So.
And in terms of potential rotation, I think this is the game to rotate. I'll be honest.
I'll say this again, but like I think it's really frustrating that both of us got Premier League teams in the third round of the FA Cup when it could have literally been anyone.
Yeah, like Weston-on-Mare or something. Like
exactly. Really frustrating, especially for us with the way Villa have been going this season.
Yeah, I would say this game against Bournemouth, I feel like this is where we kind of rotate. Not a lot, but kind of like, let's say, for example, bring in Trippier, who's still obviously pretty good.
I mean, what you shouldn't do is make like 11 changes like some managers do, in these cup games. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, so I think this is obviously because we do play another game, which we'll talk about because we are in all competitions still. But this is probably, I feel like this is the game we might rotate. Not like, as you said, 11 people, but like maybe 4 or 5 changes to the team. Obviously, it will all depend on what happens tomorrow for both Newcastle and Bournemouth. But I will go in terms of like prediction, because we already kind of previewed Bournemouth. I will obviously want us to progress in the cup. Obviously, that would mean more games for us, which I don't care. I will. You know what? I'll go.
Bournemouth are your bogey team.
Yeah.
I know you did beat them in the cup, but they've been like a really annoying bogey team for you guys. They're kind of like your version of Wolves to us. Like,
yeah. So I feel like overall, does it go to a replay?
No, there's no replay. They got rid of them like before last season. I think.
Honestly, thank God.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, because I remember Poch kept getting replays against Newport and Rochdale. You know what I mean? Like, it's so annoying, honestly. Like,
does it have extra time or? Is
it's extra time. Yeah, if it's a draw, it will go to extra time.
Yeah, because I remember what's that team?
Tamworth, yeah, last season. I mean, go back a year, that would have gone to a replay. That Tamworth.
Yeah. I will say this game, the winner to progress to the next round. I don't know. For some reason, this I feel like might be. Let's say if you beat Bournemouth or whatever, even though I predicted 2-1 Bournemouth, but let's just say that doesn't come true. I'll go Bournemouth to progress in the cup.
Damn. You think the Bournemouth curse will continue?
I'll go 2-1 for them. So I'm basically saying Bournemouth to win back-to-back games.
See, do you know what I think is going to happen with this game? Because obviously Bournemouth aren't playing well. Newcastle, you never know what you're going to get. But they're Bournemouth are a big problem for you guys. Like they've kind of you've struggled really badly. Home and I mean they beat you guys 4-1 at St James's last year. I think it will go to extra time. I think it will be a draw. I think it'll be 1-1. I think it'll go to extra time. But just like last season when Brighton stole it in extra time, in the FA Cup and knocked Newcastle out, I think Newcastle are going to come unstuck against Bournemouth again. It's just my feeling. I just think, your record against them is really bad. So,
and also, I feel like, I don't know.
I feel like Eddie Howe's the kind of guy to rotate a bit too much, to be honest, in this game.
For this game, yeah, considering that Burnley 2-1.
I don't know. I just got a feeling. I feel like Newcastle might come unstuck in this game, to be honest.
I feel like also, maybe you have one eye on the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you guys have I know it's the third round of the FA Cup, but because you guys have a semi-final in the midweek, he's gonna have. I'm telling you, he's gonna have one eye on that. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So obviously, I want us to progress, but we'll see. But I'll go Bournemouth to progress in the cup against us. But obviously, if we progress, I'm not going to complain. And then we beat Man City 7-0 later. But yeah, good thing we previewed Bournemouth earlier. Now it's time to preview Tottenham's. What do you call it?
Cup.
What it's called? The tie of the round. Tottenham.
Why are we always the tie of the round? Last year it was Villa. The year before it was Man City. Why are we always in the tie of the round?
And just like last season, the team that knocks Spurs out, it's Villa again. Tottenham against Villa. And this was the Premier League fixture. Same stadium, 2-1 Villa at that time.
Yeah, they've already beaten us once this season. I know Villa, look, they've obviously been on a really good run recently. They've under Unai, I think he's getting a lot out of that team. He's doing a really good job. And Unai Emery is a good cup manager. We have to remember that as well. He obviously knocked us out last year. So look, the FA Cup, obviously, third round. Usually in this round, you're hoping for, a kinder draw. Obviously, that didn't happen. We're the tie of the round, the televised tie of the round, all of this nonsense. But look, the FA Cup's obviously a competition that is historically massive for Spurs because we've won it 8 times.
We've won it 6 times, more than Sunderland. We've won it 8 times, but we haven't won it since 1991, which is way too long. I mean, go back before then, we were winning FA Cups all the time. The FA Cup was we were a very good FA Cup team for most of our history, but for the last 30 years, that hasn't been the case. We've been, if I'm being honest, especially in the recent years, we've been absolutely terrible in this competition. We've gone out in the 4th round, 5th round, all the time for like the last 5 years consistently. 4th round, 5th round, 4th round. All the time. We've always got past the 3rd round, funnily enough, but it's always 4th or 5th round. We're going out consistently. Norwich, Sheffield, Middlesbrough, all the absolutely could have been Tamworth.
Could have, if they had actually scored that easy chance, it would have been non-league Tamworth. So we have been tragic in the FA Cup, and it's a shame because we have such a good history in the FA Cup that we should be respecting our history a bit more. It's a kind of the way our FA Cup performances in recent years is kind of an insult to our own history in a way, because we do have a good history in this competition. So look, Villa is not the draw we want. That is not a team we want to be playing in the FA Cup. That's for sure.
Villa as well.
Yeah. We're going out. It's as simple as that. We're not beating Villa. We are not capable. I'll say it bluntly. We're not capable of beating manager, players, whoever it is. We're not capable of beating a team like that right now. It's not going to happen. Like I said, they've already had our number this season already at home in our ground. I think we lose 2-0. We're not beating Villa. It's not. If we win this FA Cup game and progress against Villa, I will be shocked, and I will come on this next show and be like, "Wow, I did not 1% of me saw that coming." So to put it bluntly, we're nowhere near good enough. We probably won't have signed anyone by that game as well. So 2-0 Villa. I see nothing else happening, unfortunately. I'd love to be wrong, because obviously it's our last semi-realistic chance at a trophy this season. But I can't see it happening, sadly.
Yeah. I mean, for me, obviously, this is going to be probably a tie that both teams didn't want to play
I
each
mean,
other.
both teams I think will rotate a little bit, but I'm worried we're going to rotate too much because Frank made that mistake against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
So
So,
there you go.
and obviously, we'll see what happens tomorrow, like who plays for Spurs and for Villa. I forgot who Villa have.
They got who do they
It's
have?
on tomorrow.
Yeah. They have
Match.
they have Palace. So they're probably gonna lose that game because Palace
Well,
are like their
well,
bogey team.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes for Villa heading into this game. I feel like this will also go to extra time,
Damn.
but ultimately, the villains become the heroes. Villa to progress. So basically, we're both saying we're both getting knocked out of the cup. So that's one less competition
Yep.
we can talk about.
And this manager has a tragic cup record. You know, out in the Carabao Cup, the second round, whatever it was, and then out in the third round of the FA Cup, and it's going to be absolutely disgusting. I'm telling you, if when we lose this Villa game, because we're at home again, you think fans are toxic now because it would have been, going out of a cup and everything, not failing to like win a trophy and stuff. Fans are going to go it's going to get so on Saturday it's going to go completely toxic. I'm telling you.
Knocked out.
Yeah, it will be completely toxic because it's a cup game. The cup means more to fans because they think that, including me, that look, you never know in the cup we could win it. Anyone can win the FA Cup. So that's kind of the mindset. If we go out and if we're terrible, it is going to be even more toxic than the league games. I'm telling you, it's going to be worse.
Yeah. So I feel like I'll go also 2-1.
I said 2-0. I don't see us scoring, to be honest.
With Villa progressing in extra time, but if Spurs do progress, then they'll probably get the tie of the round again.
We'll get Man City again. And I know we are Man City's bogey team, but not in the cup. They beat us in the cup.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get them again.
Let's say if Newcastle were to get knocked out and Spurs, I hope also SUNDEL or NND because they play Everton actually. So
yeah,
come on, Toffees. Liverpool's a better city as well compared to Sunderland. But yeah, I guess that not yet wrap up the show because the reason being is because my team, we are still in another cup competition. I don't know why Spurs aren't in it. They were in it last time. Oh well. But but it's the Carabao Cup, EFL Cup. What do you call this? The semi-final. So obviously this is over 2 legs, because most people do have 2 legs. So the first leg, I believe also I know it's Chelsea Arsenal.
Yeah, Chelsea Arsenal.
Come on, Chelsea.
Liam Rossini and Matisse is going to do that.
Please, Chelsea. Please.
Yeah, please.
I believe that game is after hours. They play on Wednesday, and we play on Tuesday.
So you're at home for the first leg against.
Yeah. So far, obviously,
it's hard to really talk about this because obviously you play like 2 games before, so it's like I think and so does City. So I think after those, it will be a fairer kind of time to do like a prediction for that game.
Yeah, but in terms of how I feel heading into it,
early thoughts, I guess, and stuff.
Somewhat optimistic. I mean, we've beaten Man City already this season. Something that both of our teams have done. Especially us at home. So you could say there's that bit of optimism. Another one is that, Man City drew their last 2 games. One of them I was a bit unfortunate that it happened to be a draw.
They should have beaten Chelsea. They should have.
They
should have beaten both.
Yeah. And then look at the Premier League table now. But yeah, this Man City home game, obviously the away game in the EFL Cup will be not until like after the Champions League phase is done. So it's still a long way to go. But I said I'm optimistic, but actually we have played 4 semi-final games, meaning 2 opponents, but 4 semi-final games. Our record is 4 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. We have won every single
Damn.
semi-final game since the takeover. So you could say this is competition that we take seriously.
Eddie Howe and Newcastle seem to like. You guys like the Carabao Cup a lot.
Yeah, we are Carabao Cup merchants, which I don't mind. And also we're the defending champions. So
Yeah.
I would say you have, for us, I know we're going up against a really good Man City team, but we're the champ.
I mean, they've got as well. They've got injuries now. Vardy and Diaz are both out.
Yeah, that's what I saw. And obviously we'll see. Oh, this is probably the game Semenyo starts.
Yeah, Semenyo, and he'll bring his Bournemouthness against Newcastle.
Yeah, probably.
Because he'll know how to beat City because he'll know how to beat Newcastle because he played for Bournemouth. His Bournemouthness.
Yeah, but yeah, for this Man City game, could we make it 5 semi-final wins in a row in terms of like just matches alone, not overall tie? I could see it. I mean, our 4 games of the semi-final were 1-0 away at Southampton, 2-1 at home against Southampton, 3-1 aggregate. And then
last season, hey!
Yeah, when it could have been Spurs.
4-0 against Arsenal.
2-0.
They held 4 over 2 legs.
And scored
0.
So I'm not going to say we're not.
So you guys, this is a game where you'll raise your game. You guys, for all your inconsistency in recent weeks, this City game, because it's the Carabao Cup semi-final, you'll raise your game. I'm telling you.
I'll be honest. I do not mind losing to Man City in the Premier League away game because we are playing them away in the Premier League in the later part of February. So we go to the Etihad twice in February. I do not mind losing that Premier League one if it means that we are in that final. Because actually, if we do make the Carabao Cup final, they have to reschedule the time where derby. So,
I mean, like you said, Sunderland went out the cup before you even entered, before both of us entered. So
it will be so hilarious. Please, if we win the competition again in Sunderland's best ever season,
that would be kind of funny. But do you know what I think? I already said this yesterday, but my kind of early predict. I mean, it's still quite early to predict this game, but like, do you know what I think's going to happen? I think you're going to win the home game. I think you're going to win it, but I think, do you know what's going to happen? You're not going to like this.
Yeah,
you're going to miss. You're not going to win it by enough. You're going to have chances, but you're going to only win it by 1 goal. And then City will beat you guys in the second leg because Newcastle at the Etihad is, as you know.
To be fair, I believe, unless it's been almost 10 years ago, the last time we were at the Etihad in this competition, we did win.
You did? Yeah, so maybe.
Orlando Arons of all people.
Orlando
Arons.
And then guess who knocked you guys out in the next round?
Spurs.
That
maybe it's the reverse.
Yeah, you knock out Spurs and then City knock you guys out.
Yeah, at least Spurs in the competition. But in terms of like prediction, I'll be confident that we can win. Whether we win the tie, as in like overall, after 2 games, I don't know.
You guys, for the home game, you're going to be well up for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I can only do it based on when we played them the 2-1 back in November. We did have chances to win by more than just.
That's what I'm saying. I think it will be a similar game, if I'm being honest.
And maybe if we take our chances, you know what? Maybe can this be the one game I can be delusional?
Yeah, why not?
We get knocked out by Bournemouth, but Manchester City 0, Newcastle United
3. Damn.
I think
that'd be pretty crazy.
And then second leg, when we play them, Man City 3-0 after 20 minutes.
You couldn't make that up. You really couldn't make that up.
You know what? Let this be the one time I can be delusional. 3-0 against Man City, and then lose to Man City like 4-0 in the
4-0, like like Liverpool Barca in that.
Yeah,
Champions
basically.
League.
Who would be the Origi? Corner taken quickly, Origi!
Probably like, I mean, it wouldn't be Haaland. It would be who else? It would probably be someone.
Also, Holland doesn't have a good record against us.
He doesn't. Yeah, neither. He doesn't have a good record against us either.
Yeah,
it's both.
I'll say if we beat I'm not saying 3. Oh, I am saying 3-0, but if we progress to the final, I'll say back to back, and third time in 4 seasons. And to be honest, it should have been 4 in a row had we not lost to Chelsea in the quarterfinal, because we would have played Middlesbrough and we beat Middlesbrough, play Liverpool in the final. Who knows that time?
I mean, with all those kickers, Liverpool, remember they won that cup with like all the kids and stuff. So maybe you would have won. I mean, Poch standard bottled it. So
yeah. So I feel like if we make the final in March, I'll be more confident this season than last season, because now I've seen us lift the trophy.
You got that. That's the thing. You've got that winning experience. You ended the trophy. So if you get to another final, you can definitely back yourselves more than what you've ever done before, because you've experienced winning. And Newcastle obviously ended that 70-year trophy drought. So you guys know how. So that's the thing. That's why. Look, for as bad as Spurs are, if we get to another final, whenever that is, I'll feel more confident than I would have done before Bilbao, because we've tasted glory in recent years now. So, that kind of helps the mentality in playing these finals.
And I believe I'm not sure. I think it was Bruno Guimaraes or someone like that. Oh, we want to do this again, like the winning
back to back.
That's like winning trophies or something like that.
I mean, to be fair, if you guys go back to back, that'll be pretty. I know it's like the Carabao Cup, but big up to Jordan as well. If you guys go back
as well, Jordan, because I told this to Josh and Charlie. If you want, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso later. If you want to join.
But if you guys go to back to back, that'll be pretty crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it could, look, you're in a semi-final. You never know.
Yeah, and obviously, as I said, we have a good semi-final record, which I hope bodes well when we play in the Champions League, because we will be in the semi-final as well in the Champions League. Wink, wink. But yeah, obviously, and we talked about Villa Spurs earlier, so just go back just a little bit.
Is Dan from a Villa fan?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, nice. Yeah, big up.
So, we both said Villa win.
Yeah, we have no chance in that game.
But yeah, this game against Man City, for those that join, Newcastle, Man City, Carabao Cup, first leg. For one time, let me be delusional. Newcastle 3-0 against Man City.
I'm saying you win 1-0 in the first leg, and then second leg, I think you lose. I think you lose 2-0 in the second leg.
Something like that. But we'll see how things will be like when it comes to the second leg, and obviously what happens in the first leg. But if we make that final again, what's the funny? It's not about us being in the final. It's the fact that they have to reschedule for us to play in that final. Is the Tyne-Wear derby against Sunderland.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
In Sunderland's best ever season, they have to reschedule the derby because we are going to win the trophy that same weekend that we were meant to play them.
Wow. That'd be funny.
That'd be funny. So you know what? If we end up winning the trophy again, please, whenever that rescheduled Tyne-Wear derby is, maybe in like May or something, put the trophy, do you know how the players walk out? Like you have to put it right there and be like, you could have beaten us on this day.
But I think you will. Do you know why I think you might do that? Because I remember Sunderland were like shithousering you guys in the game recently, because do you remember the scoreboard? It said they didn't even put your emblem. It just said visitors and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think your club are going to get a bit of revenge if you win the trophy.
If we win the Carabao Cup, please put the trophy in the middle, or what would be fun? I guess whoever is the captain, probably Bruno, have Bruno walk out with the kid, like the mascot, walk out with the trophy in hand, and then do a lap around the stadium, and then shake the hands of the of the
That would be funny. That would be
position
really funny.
and all that. And then we beat them 5-0 or something.
But we actually did the same when we played Man United earlier in the season. We put it wasn't on where the players walk out. It was in the main entrance of the stadium. We displayed the Europa League trophy because we beat them in the final.
Hopefully we do something similar with that. But yeah, so you go 1-0, I'll go delusionally 3-0. But
yeah,
we'll see how it will be like. But yeah, I guess this will wrap up the show at last. Yeah, any final thoughts?
Nothing really apart from the fact that Spurs are going to fail to win the next 2 games, and if we do, or if we don't, I'll be surprised because we are absolutely horrendous. We need to hurry up and sign players. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, big up to 10, big up to everyone in the chat as well. Yeah, should be an interesting next show with all the games that are going to happen before then. So,
and
yeah,
technically, if Newcastle win all 3, we would win 5 in a row.
Exactly. So we'll see. But yeah, subscribe to both our channels, guys, if you haven't already. Like the stream, and yeah, we'll be back soon.
Yeah, and obviously, I will be back later. I don't know about Charlie, but I will be back.
Yeah, no, send me again. Send me the link, and if I can, I'll join. Like
I
yesterday.
might be joining also with maybe Josh, maybe Jordan. I don't know. But yeah, live watch long later for Ivory Coast against Burkina Faso, the final game of the last 16 of the AFCON. So a live watch long for that one. And yeah, obviously a good show. And hopefully we make it to eventually the final of the Carabao Cup, which is what we have done 2 of the last 3 times. Can we make it 3 and 4? Hopefully. But yeah, so I guess subscribe to both of our channels, like the stream, and yeah, we'll see you guys in probably the next time we do this shows on Thursday of next week, the 15th of January. After Newcastle smash Man City 7-0.